The Pod Network Entertainment.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to wherever you're watching this podcast from here in the Philippines and from all over the world. Welcome to the RJ Ledesma podcast. In my podcast, I like to speak to inspiring business leaders and entrepreneurs to learn more about how they think about doing business. What are their success secrets? Can we replicate those success secrets in our own businesses? And most importantly, what business opportunities do they see emerging in the near future? Do you know any great business leaders who you'd like me to interview here on the podcast? Please let me know. I would love to learn from them as well. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Google, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We've got two inspiring women in today's podcast. First off, we've got Diana Lim, who is the Vice President of PETNET FOREX Solutions and spearheads sales and operations for PETNET Global Business, which caters to B2B cross-border payments. She boasts a compelling 11-year tenure at the company, and she was involved in operations from leading teams in sales, data, people managers, and B2B strategies. We also have Camille de la Paz Villafuerte, who also works at PETNET FOREX as the Senior Assistant Vice President and the Head Trader for Forex Trading, which provides accessible, convenient, and efficient business trading solutions through the buying and selling of US dollars. And welcome back, DM and Camille, to the RG Ledesma podcast. It's like that we just met last week, but we're back here again.
So missed you already.
Exactly, we missed you guys.
Thank you for having us back.
We're very happy to have you guys back here in the podcast. Now, for those who might have missed the podcast last week, or our last podcast rather, we explained what PETNET is all about. But maybe we can laymanize for the people who are coming for the first time. Help us better understand, what does PETNET do for the entrepreneur or for the MSME out there? DM?
Yeah, so PETNET or PETNET FOREX Solution is actually a financial institution that offers foreign exchange solutions, be it forex trading, which means buying or selling of US dollar, or be it cross-border payment or global payment solutions to up to 130 currencies to 200 territories. So that's actually what we do. We help businesses process their foreign exchange solutions, convert their dollars, and also pay their suppliers abroad or their beneficiaries abroad.
Got that. And Camille, also, for the people coming for the first time to listen to what PETNET has to offer, what are the type of companies that should approach PETNET? What are the type of entrepreneurs or companies that might need the services of PETNET?
Right. So actually, any type of business, as long as you're dealing with another currency, you can certainly be a customer of PETNET. You can be an importer who buys from abroad. You could be an exporter who, of course, have buyers abroad and need to fund your operations here locally in pesos. You can be a consultant. You can be a manager of a BPO, mining company, anything actually under the sun that requires any sort of currency exchange, we cater to.
Got that. And last week, we tackled in depth, really, the advantages of working together with PETNET. And if you don't mind, let's go through it again, just for the benefit of those who are coming to hear it for the first time. Why work with PETNET, let's say, if there are other companies that also do the same type of service? What does PETNET give that's value added?
Right, so we provide customized and personalized service according to your business needs. We also provide competitive rates. We make settlement easier for you. We have multiple settlement banks. And thirdly, so we allow multiple settlements. You can pay with any major banks in the country to us. And then lastly is we actually have digital solutions in which you can settle at the comfort of your house, or you can process your foreign exchange requirements at the comfort of your house.
Wow, that's really great for many of us. Actually, I think that might have come out because as a result of the pandemic, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Very interesting. Now, there's, like you said, there's a lot of advantages working with PETNET. If people listened to the podcast last week, they got a better appreciation of the importance of, how you solve the issues of complexity, volatility, documentary requirements, and timing with regard to, from the perspective of the entrepreneur. So he can worry about doing his business, and you guys worry about all the foreign exchange idiosyncrasies which the entrepreneur doesn't want to think about when he's doing the business. But I also understand that you guys have two particular functions in PetNet that make it a lot easier for our entrepreneurs to do business globally. And the first one is called, you've got a cross-border payment group, and you also have a global business group. Am I correct?
So to correct that, we actually have two. That's forex trading.
Okay.
That is the traditional buying and selling of dollar, which means that if you need to sell your dollar, you can convert it to us, and we will actually provide the proceeds to your local bank here in the Philippines. Or if you need to buy dollars, you can buy it from us, and then we'll credit the dollar to your local dollar account here in the Philippines. So that's for forex trading.
Okay.
And then the second one is called Global Business Solutions. So the Global Business Solutions, business to business foreign exchange solutions, wherein it actually process payments for beneficiaries who are outside of the country. So that's up to, I've mentioned earlier, 130 currencies.
Wow.
So dollar, euro, Japanese yen, renminbi, we have it, and then we send it out to 200 territories globally. So this, if we actually compare it, this is like a wire transfer solution, similarly called telegraphic transfer by the bank. So that's how the second business or the second foreign exchange solutions
I
work.
see. And when you term it, you call it global business solutions. That means that there was a problem that you guys were solving. And again, like for me, I'm putting on my entrepreneurial mindset hat. What problems were you trying to solve with global business solutions? What did you see emerging that an actual department was put up to solve these problems?
Right. So currently, there's actually a very common standard in processing global payments. And entrepreneurs doesn't really know that there's another solution that can be done, which is easier and simpler.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the current process right now is for if you're paying beneficiaries or suppliers offshore, and it's in other currencies, then you have to go through processing your peso to US dollar to another currency. But they don't know that with the service that we have, which is Global Business Solutions, they can actually just be quoted in peso, and they don't have to worry about the conversion in US dollar. They can go straight. So it's actually a very simple process. The payment for your offshore suppliers doesn't need to be complicated. In terms as well of documentation requirements, we also make it easy for our clients, because most of the time you'd be able to send out the payments, but then when you receive, like, let's say your cargoes or your products here in the country, there's a need to provide several documents before that cargo gets released. And these are not naturally provided in the traditional processing of payments. But with us, it's automated. We actually send out proof of payment and proof of wire transfer, which can be shown to maybe the customs or through the officers who will be releasing your product. So we make those kind of problems easy for our clients to be solved.
And how exactly, let's say, for example, I'm sure that there are other companies such as yourselves that do similar services for their clients. What makes it a bit different for PetNet?
Right. So for PetNet, normally the other companies would only offer up to 10 major currencies, but for PetNet, we actually offer up to 130 currencies.
I see.
So apart from that as well, which I failed to mention earlier, we actually have an online application wherein if you become a registered client, you can actually use that platform in order for you to actually do your transaction.
I see.
So you can book it on your own and send the payment to your supplier or beneficiary. But if you prefer to actually get in touch with us, you can definitely go through the booking to phone or to by messaging us, and we'll do the booking for you. So we try to be present to where the client wants us to be. If they want us personally there for them to do the transaction, then we'll do it for them. But if they want a digital application in order to do their transaction for global payments, then that's also available for them.
Again, very customized to
Right.
what the customer wants.
Yes.
If you don't mind, I was very curious about you talking about how you make it almost seamless for the customer to get it. like for myself, I'm not personally involved in doing import-export, but give me an actual example of a client where it would have been a big problem if they didn't have these documents, but because of PetNet's intervention, the process becomes a bit more seamless for them. Can you give us an example?
Right. So I'm going to say it's company A. So we were able to speak to him, and that's one of his common problem. He said, "What are the papers that you actually have that I can present to the customs or maybe to the port that would say, hey, that's my cargo, it's fully paid, I'm the one who ordered it?" Because that's a common problem that we have. We would have, like, let's say, a request, but there's no actual proof that it's actually for that cargo. So we said we have our order summary receipt and we have our payment transmission confirmation, and that's actually what we give out. And aside from that, we do an extra mile. If, let's say, the customs still has doubts on it, we actually certify it to the point that the customs also calls us, or we give the custom a call to actually prove the authentication of that payment for that specific cargo.
I see. And this for global business solutions, that is what I would call a B2B solution,
Right.
business to business solution.
Yes.
But I understand that this is also a solution that can be used, that can be B2C or business to consumer. Is that right? Can you elaborate more on that one?
Right. So we do have different types of clients, and one we've already mentioned earlier would be importers who does their trade. But we do have several who actually purchased, like, let's say, properties offshore, and they need to send payments. If they go through the national process, it's going to be really tedious and a lot of documentation requirement. But for us, we make it easy for them because, as Camille mentioned in the last podcast, we laid out what is needed in order for that transaction to be seamless. So we have the clients who would purchase properties offshore, who would usually send allowances to their, like, let's say, family members or to their kids offshore, and it's actually being catered by global business as well. And it's good thing that you asked, because recently we've just launched another solution, which is also global in scale. But this is, like, let's say, for students who wanted to study outside of the country. So we've recently launched Global Pay University, and that, in that sense, students could actually just go to the portal and choose PetNet to pay for their university.
Oh, that's great, because I remember when I was studying abroad, it needs to be deposited to me, and that's an extra cost because it's sent to me. Then I have to pay it to the university.
Yes. So we send it straight to the university partner.
Oh, fantastic! Really, really great solution. I can see the benefit. For at least it's customized, like you said. There's a B2B solution and there's a B2C solution as well over there. I want to go back to Camille and tell me a bit more. I know that forex trading is your specialty. Let's do a bit more of a deeper dive. And how does PetNet really help vis-a-vis its services against, let's say, other competitors who also have a forex trading department?
Right. So, siguro, just to laymanize it, forex trading allows a company or an individual to convert their dollars to pesos and pesos to dollars and have the proceeds credited to their local bank account here in the Philippines. I guess the value that we give to these clients is that, again, we have multiple banks, right? So you could have your dollar account in Bank A and your peso account in Bank B. So you wouldn't need to have to do the transfers yourself. PetNet will be the one to transfer the funds for you. So that's one. It allows you more flexibility, I guess, in terms of managing your funds without having to think about the cost of transfers and everything. So that's one. Secondly, of course, our rates are very competitive. I would say that most companies have several providers, FX providers, and we give them the option, of course, to compare their rates. And more often than not, they do say that we are one of the best rate providers. So, of course, better rates, more savings for the company and individual. And I say individual because, of course, there are some individuals as well who need to do conversions on a regular basis. So these could be consultants. These could be what do you call this? Investors who get natural influx of dollars. These could be foreign employees who get paid in dollars and need to convert it to peso or vice versa.
I see.
Yeah.
So what I
So
would
maybe-
call solopreneurs.
Right,
Yes,
right,
yes,
right.
Yes, you wanted to
Yeah,
add.
so maybe to add to that
Yeah.
as well, we watching the currency fluctuations and change in the market. We also make it easy for the clients. For forex trading, if you're a client, let's say you can tell Camille, the rate right now is not something I would like to deal with, but tell me if it hits maybe 57.20. If it hits that, then call me right away.
Yeah.
So you get to have a personal trading watching the market for you.
I
Exactly.
see, I see.
We collect our clients' orders actually. So we ask them, what's your target level? Like, do you want me to execute this as soon as it hits, or would you like me to call you? So we really customize it based on what the client wants. And we also educate them. If they say, Camille, if it hits, I don't know, 59 flat, then let's convert the dollar to peso. And I would tell them, it's kind of impossible at the moment. So realistically, in the time frame that you're looking at, this is the range that we see. So maybe we could manage it a bit and then adjust your target.
And like you were saying, you said that you can have somebody really get in touch with you
Yes.
and do this one, which means that there's a high level of personalization with PetNet. Tell us a bit more about the team that you have working behind the scenes.
For the forex trading team, actually the
whole team.
the whole team, yeah. So we have around 20 traders. So the traders are different from account officers because the traders also manage the position, the FX position of the company and the liquidity. So they have a little bit of a higher role in terms of what they need to do. But essentially, everyone acts as an account officer. So we're all assigned companies and individuals that we talk to on a daily basis that we take care of.
So to add to that, so we're structured in a way that if you're a client of us, we assign a trader,
Yeah.
we assign an account officer, and there's in fact even a leader or a team leader is actually watching over your account. And on that package, there's even a support team that's actually watching if your payment gets credited already. So we have like, let's say, a trading assistant if the payment did get processed. So the trader would actually give you a technical analysis of how foreign exchange is moving right now, and the account manager would actually support you in whatever needs that you would maybe require. Maybe you say, I need the document or the proof of purchase or the proof of deal for this transaction that we have, and the forex account officer will assist you in that. And then behind that, there's even a team watching over how the payment actually happens, if it gets credited already or not.
Got that.
Yeah. Our clients actually know maybe 4 people from the team. So they know the team leader, they know the trader, they know the account officer, they know the assistant. So there's always someone who answers. So if it's a question about, was my payment settled, then our assistant replies in the group chat or maybe in the email, yes, this is the proof of payment, etc. Or can I get an updated rate? And the trader chimes in, this is the updated rate. Yeah.
And I guess another differentiator for us is you don't have to be a very big company to actually get that kind
see.
of service.
Yeah.
So whether you're a small, medium, or large entrepreneur, then you get that kind of service from everyone in the team.
Got that. So it literally takes a village
Yeah.
to make sure that a transaction pushes through as we intend. Having said that, some entrepreneurs come here for the first time and appreciating this one, and they might not yet be involved in using your services or forex trading. So help us better appreciate what are, I guess, maybe the red flags to watch out for when it comes to forex trading and currency trading, and
right.
of course doing all these different solutions. Camille with a big smile because I'm sure that you know some of these red flags.
Okay, so I guess the first thing that a business or an entrepreneur should see is if the company is registered in BSP, a licensed forex and remittance company. There are a lot of maybe what do you call that? Fly-by-nights, maybe. And if the rates are very, very good by those fly-by-nights, you may be tempted to deal with them. And then, tomorrow we cry because your funds are lost or
I see.
whatever. So the very first thing to check is if the company is legitimate. Check who the owners are, if they're registered by BSP, and how many years they've been in the business. Yeah.
And I guess speaking of red flags, like let's say for global business, we actually do a world check, in which if you're a businessman and you said, "Oh, I met this supplier, I'm going to settle with him," we're gonna run a world check first. World check.
A
Yeah.
world, a world. That's
Yes, a
Yeah.
world
mundo,
check.
mundo.
Yes,
Oh.
yes. We're gonna run a world check first. We're gonna see if there's going to be a red flag for this beneficiary, and we'll say, you know what, you're going to send payment in Singapore, but the business office is in Japan. Does this make sense, or does this is this, have you made a background check? And I tell you what, RJ, we've saved so many transactions because
really?
of this.
Can you give me an example?
helped.
This is very interesting. No, kasi for
Right,
me,
yeah,
as,
yeah,
as an
yeah.
entrepreneur, you might not spot those
That's
things.
right,
Can you give me an
that's
example
right.
when that happened to you before, where you were able to spot something?
Yeah, so we said we have a team that actually watch for your transaction, and then we run this red flag, and then we see the difference, because from experience, you'd really question why the bank account is different from the location of the office, and then we raise it to the client. We told that client that, hey, it's different, you might wanna check. What the client did is actually just send in the email, send in an email for verification, only to find out that their email has been compromised. So they've been hacked in the email. So it was intercepted, and the invoice was actually edited. It was right. So we said, don't check on that email. Call your supplier.
Yeah.
So they made a call to the supplier, and the suppliers, no, we didn't make any change on the invoice or on our bank details.
So that client now is your client for life. I would guess.
That's exactly what they said. Yeah, we owe so much to you now.
Wow. And talking of clients who are very happy with the services of PetNet, I've got a few testimonials which I want you guys to hear about PetNet and their services. Now, I would like to welcome on the podcast a great client of our good friends from PetNet FOREX SOLUTIONS. We've got Telework PH Outsourcing Services with the sister team of Marjorie Mago Aviso, who is the CEO, together with her sister, Marie-Chris Mago Aviso, or Chris, who is their CFO. Marge and Chris, welcome to the RJ Ledesma podcast.
Thank you for having us here. It's a great opportunity and a pleasure to be interviewed by RJ himself, RJ Ledesma.
But I'm very privileged because I'm always so intrigued and inspired by people who put up their own companies, the entrepreneurial journey. If you've gotten the chance to listen to the earlier podcasts of the RJ Ledesma podcast, I'd really like to explore that sort of journey which brought you to where the business is here today. From what I understand, you guys were just put up back in 2019 formally, but after just 4 to 5 years, you've got about 1,000 employees who work for you here right now in the business. So that deserves a round of applause. I'll applaud for you. Sige, I'll applaud for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, help me better understand lang. When I talk to a lot of companies, especially startup companies, I often like to ask them the question of what problem was your business trying to solve, right? So before we get into that, give me sort of like that big elevator pitch. What is Telework PH Outsourcing Solutions all about?
So Telework PH is a Filipino homegrown BPO service. And the problem that we are solving is that, Filipinos are going into Manila to get an opportunity or get a job. The BPOs are there, the big BPOs are there. And I started out, of course, as an employee as well in a BPO. And I had to move back and forth from Bulacan, where I lived. And I had to leave my family behind. So we wanted to solve that by bringing the BPO to the local community in Bulacan. And we are one of those many BPOs that are already homegrown. So that's exactly what we're solving. Instead of them going abroad, we want to promote these opportunities locally without having to leave even their local even their families, or even for the pursuit of going abroad.
Where is that point when you were doing the business, when you finally said to yourself, oh my gosh, I think we made it? Or, there's comes a certain point, in your personal, professional life where you sort of hit a milestone. When you hit it, you go, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, but it's established. What was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, I have a really deep religious belief that, things happen for a reason. And I think when you really work hard for something that you believe in, and then you put your heart and soul into it, I sincerely believe that there's no actual formula for success, but really your commitment, dedication, your hard work, all of that mixed into the challenges, and really learning from all these roadblocks, because it's also a stepping stone to the next level, and you have to be okay with it. And sometimes it's not, this is why it's not for everyone, because it's lonely at the top. There's so
That's
many
right. That's right.
challenges, and it will never run out, it will never run dry. So you have to be comfortable going up to that next level and really facing those bigger challenges ahead.
What was that one big thing that happened to you? That one big achievement for you where you felt that yes, I've gotten somewhere.
I think during the pandemic era, yeah, and that's the most difficult, challenging times, in the business. And you know how foreign exchange at the time is so volatile. It's very very difficult to make decisions, business decisions at the time, and even cash flow, because most of the businesses are also affected. But when we were able to recover from that, and we were also awarded by the Philippine Daily Inquirer as one of the growth companies of 2024, because they looked at the data from 2022 to 20, was it 2020, 2020, but during the pandemic
2020 to
era.
2022.
Yes, they looked at the financial data. We were one of the companies that had the highest revenue growth. So it was
Bravo.
like I didn't even know. I didn't even know, because I was so focused in our business, then looking at other business and how they're doing. For me, it's just a matter of being able to survive, and every single day of our lives, keep going, keep going by, and thankfully God has made a way for
We
us.
almost filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah, we
right?
almost filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm so inspired by your story, ladies, and it's so nice to see sisters working together in tandem. And one of the things which really came and that resonated with me was that there was the need to manage your funds during that time. I think for all of us, that was the same thing. So looking at the business model for you guys, my presumption is that you are paid in US dollars from wherever your clients are from. They pay you, and you're meant to disperse the money, right? I mean, that's the basic business model, I guess. Or is it that one, or is it subscription as a service? What is the model for you guys?
The former you mentioned, yes. So we are being paid in US dollars. We also receive Australian dollars. So these are really foreign currencies. And then, we pay in local pesos here, because we are a homegrown BPO, 100% Filipino owned.
Yeah. And so the services that you offer, it's on a monthly basis, I guess. It's a contractual business together with your BPO clients. Is that right?
Correct. It's a retainer business model.
Retainer.
Yes.
It's a retainer business model. Okay, understand. So let's get to the interesting part of working together, like with our friends from PETNET. So I'm sure you get several different currencies from your clients from the US, Australia, Costa Rica, Canada, including the UK. So you're dealing with different currencies as you're being paid, and you're having to disperse that money in pesos, in local currency, not just to those based in the Bulacan office, but also those based
Yes.
in other parts of the Philippines. I want to talk now to Chris, who is our CFO. Tell me a bit more about how interesting this job can be when you've got to be able to disperse money to all those different people.
Yeah, so PetNet was introduced to me last year by my sister. I think they have met them before,
Yeah.
but they were not that active. So since I joined the company, we started being active with them last year. So they are very crucial in our business operations, because they are very comparable with the buying rates,
Mhm.
comparable with the local banks actually. So that is one strength that they have. And another experience is that we have a dedicated account officer.
Got that.
I can mention her name, his name, Remson.
Hi,
So
Ramson. Congratulations. Good job. Okay.
so he is very flexible and helps us, gives us ease in dealing with the transactions. So daily he would give us the buying rates, and then there's also a short analysis of how the FX would the factors that influence the FX movement. So aside from that, the one factor or one attribute that sets PetNet apart is their affiliation with banks.
Mhm, mhm.
So there is flexibility in terms of fund transfers.
Great. So it's really the ease of doing business which you appreciate from PETNET, coupled with, of course, Remson's dedicated account management of your business over here for, of course, Telework. Question lang, di ba? You got people based in different parts. So how do you manage that one when the FX comes in? How do you also distribute the money to the different clients? Is PETNET also very instrumental in helping you get the money out to your employees in different parts of the country?
Yes, we are able to. We have a payroll account with the bank, but of course the dollar comes in from another bank, so we have to disperse through another bank. So that's where Petnet comes in. It's like they provide the link between those two banks of ours, because the other bank is the receiving bank and the other one is the disbursing bank. So we have a payroll cash management with our disbursing bank that allows us to credit their payrolls.
And then for this one, I understand PETNET has accounts with almost all major banks. So whatever your employee is based, whatever bank I guess is nearby them, they do have access to whatever bank is nearby. Is that correct? Is that the correct understanding?
Yes, I think so, because they have accounts with our major banks.
Fantastic.
Currently, what we do is we have a single bank that we work with in terms of payroll, but they are connected with PETNET to ensure that we are getting the most out of the conversion. So it makes it very easy for us to transition from that receiving and bank account to the disbursing bank account.
Really great to hear. And I understand, Marge, that you are the CEO of the company. Before Chris came in, you had been doing work already with PETNET, but all of a sudden the work that you seem to be doing together with PETNET, the scope of work has increased, I guess, since the start of the business. What made you what made you like the services? What was so encouraging about working with PETNET? Because of course there's an opportunity to work with other sort of same forex providers. But what was it about PETNET that you particularly liked?
As business owners, when we are starting out, we do most of the things, right? I personally go to the bank. I personally go to the bank, my husband and I, to sign all these paperwork, and that alone has taken so much of my time, to be honest. And we have to also work on some other things. And one of the things that made it easy and made me choose them is the convenience. And we don't even have to wait for updates. Remzon gives us the updates. So it makes it easy for us to decide, are we going to do the foreign exchange now, or are we going to wait a little bit until we see the market trends? Those types of things that make it easy for us business owners to make to make that decision. It really matters for me. So yeah, that's how I moved from doing everything myself to really using a reliable service as this. And when you're growing, you don't need to be doing the same thing over, because now you have a different kind of sets of processes and systems in place. So you have to understand that you also needed partners in business to help you scale.
I totally agree. And what I appreciate from what you shared is that it was actually the insights that you gained from your account manager, which helps you make good decisions with regard to do I convert now, do I convert later? These are crucial for you, especially I guess now with Chris over there monitoring the bottom line. These are very important decisions which you have to make. Now, having said that, moving forward a bit more, it looks like you found a good partner with PETNET. You don't have to do everything yourself anymore. Looking ahead, how do you find that you will continue to work with PETNET to build your future goals? So I'm guessing your future goal, I really appreciated your why. It's really to give employment to people here locally where they don't have to travel abroad to get good, high-paying jobs. So I'm guessing you'll have some expansion plans in the regions. You'll increase your services. And how does PETNET collaborate with you to at least achieve these bigger plans?
So right now how we are marketing our services is merely through outreach, through advertising, and through email, or I'm sorry, referral. So like 80% of our customers are really referred to us by our existing customers. But sooner we'd want to set up booths, we want to visit countries. So when we start doing that, I'm sure that there will be a lot of clients interested in our business. And it's very important for us to have that partner in, when it comes to these foreign exchange rates, because one of the challenges that we are having is, how it's fluctuating, that it's costing, it's affecting how we are also paying out our employees. So say, if the forex is not good, of course that also affects how much of the profit is taken, because then we have to recover, the amount that's being paid to our suppliers, to our employees, the salaries and all that stuff. So we have to be dynamic in pricing, and we have to also account for it, that there's a certain range that we need to work on. Like I think we're working on a 50, right? As low as 50, pero ngayon it's 58.
Yeah,
Right.
58.
That's right.
The average is 55.
Oh, so we're doing our forecast at 50 just to make sure that we have that, that's so much room for
Runway
fluctuation.
for the business. Wow.
Yes. So those types of, and when that grows and when that scales, when we have more clients to come in, we definitely want Petnet to stay as our partners when it comes to that foreign exchange challenges in the business.
That's right. It's sort of like you found a great strategic business partner for growth, because these are things that sometimes we know our expertise as business owners. At least internally, those things, and the things that you don't know are particularly what could be the volatile exchange rate, and you need the insights from them to be able to make your forecasts at least partially smoother, or at least not as volatile as you wish it would be, right?
Yes, that's right. I totally agree.
Great. So tell me, what is the vision for you guys in the next couple of years? I'm really interested to find out where do you guys see your company in the next 5 years?
So we wanted to always stick to our mission, which is 5,000 opportunities by 2020. Was it 2020?
2025, 5,000 by 2025. Wow.
Around 2025. No, 2030, I believe. 2030.
2030, okay.
And then as well, we are developing this platform called Telework AI, which will enable, faster transaction between the client and the staff. So there's now that sort of like an Upwork platform, but very specific for Filipinos and our clients abroad.
Now, one last question. We have similar companies which are also growing like yourselves, which are Filipino owned, but at the same time purely servicing U.S. clients, whatever they may be. They might be outsourcing, offshoring, or other related businesses. What is your advice to them as entrepreneurs yourselves, especially when it comes to dealing with these sort of forex issues? Because many of them they might be doing it in-house, they might be working with other companies. But what is your own personal advice that you want to share with other business owners who have similar natures of business and business models to yours?
We have an advice.
I think they should also partner with the likes of PETNET, and they should have affiliations with the other banks so they can maximize and get the most out of the products that they offer. Because if we don't engage with those partners, then we will not be able to grow and improve our profitability, like the FX gains, and also we will not be able to maximize the efficiency of our operations, and for improved cash management as well. They should also, of course, research on the foreign exchange. But of course, these partners are very much in the knowledge on how to deal with this foreign exchange factor. So it's better to have an account officer with you to guide you with those decisions.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you can focus on what you know. They can focus on what they know, right?
Right. Yes. You don't have to do everything yourself. And as well, to add to that, having systems and processes in place to ensure that you are capable to the next level of growth, because then it will, what worked in the past will no longer work for the next level. So you have to be
That's right.
comfortable, moving to that next phase, and that next phase requires lots of resources, lots of energy, and you don't need to be doing all these things alone. But if there is an expert in that field, for instance, in the field of foreign exchange and conversions, then definitely partner up with them, just like what CFO Chris said. So yeah.
Yeah. And with that, thank you so much. What a really great opportunity to speak to both of you.
Thank
The
you.
family of RJ Aviso,
Our
CEO,
honor.
Chris Aviso, CFO for good friends Telework PH Outsourcing. Guys, it was such an inspiration to speak to both of you. And thanks again for PETNET for bringing us together. Back to our interview. Thanks so much to all of our loyal PETNET customers. And having said that, we've piqued the interest of our aspiring entrepreneurs or growing businesses who want to engage your services. How do they get in touch with PETNET?
Right. Okay. So we have social media. We have our Facebook, our LinkedIn. You can contact us there. We also have our website. It's petnetforexsolutions.com, or you can email us at info_forexsolutions@petnet.com.ph.
And I understand that you might be able to help them also make better decisions
Right.
through some information. Can you share with us a bit more how you can help out the incoming potential customers?
Right.
of
Okay.
PETNET?
So if an entrepreneur or the business wants help with managing their forex, we can actually give you a market outlook. What's the currency that you're looking at? How it's going to be the next month, year, or so. Yeah, we can do that for the company and for the individual.
Maybe
so
to
much.
add
Yes,
as well, I think every now and then we do send out, like, let's say, webinars or trainings, which we open to everyone. If they can actually follow us to our Facebook account or LinkedIn account, then the announcement for this, like, let's say, cyber fraud in terms of payments.
Like what you said, Karina.
Like what I
Exactly,
said earlier.
exactly,
So we
exactly.
usually open this to the public, and if they're interested to learn more about it, then they can just register and participate in that.
Fantastic. Great. Really great advice. Thanks so much for enlightening us. Any last words that you want to share with our future PETNET customers?
Right, so if you get in touch with us, we are PETNET FOREX Solutions, and you can rely on us to actually better manage your foreign exchange solutions need. We have Forex trading for buying and selling of US dollar, and we have Global Visa Solutions for B2B global payments. So you can just get in touch with us for these solutions.
Thanks so much, DM. Camille.
What she said.
Guys, thanks so much. It's been really a pleasure having you over the last two podcasts. Looking forward to helping you grow PETNET as we grow also the Philippine MSMEs and make them truly forces to reckon with. Thanks again, guys. Thanks so much for joining us
Thank you.
on the
RJ.
RJ Desk podcast. And we'll see you guys in the next podcast.
Bye.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.